The downfall of iDubbbz and the looming shadow over his career cast by Anissa is truly one of the most tragic things to happen to the YouTube landscape in terms of memorable and respected entertainment. And while some may disagree with what I'm about to say, I honestly can't really be mad at iDubbbz or blame him for his decision to settle down and change his lifestyle up. A lot of people will give iDubbbz a lot of grief for switching up his style and behavior, moving away from his typical unapologetic edgy execution of humor and content production, but honestly, I can completely understand what he's doing and where he came from. Some people will say that it was incredibly cowardly of iDubbbz to move away from and apologize for his past, but I can't help but to make the defense that iDubbbz reached an age in his life where he wants to focus purely on his business and step away from the limelight of being YouTube's edgy bad boy. I mean, people change, and that's fine. Who am I to really judge iDubbbz for whatever change he wanted to make in his life? But something that sours the reputation of iDubbbz consistently more than iDubbbz does himself, despite his failures in Creator Clash, the drama with Sam Hyde, and by extension Froggy Fresh, would probably be Anissa herself. You see, iDubbbz has made a fool out of himself on more than one occasion, being a husk of his former self, but again, you can't really blame a guy for wanting to come off as a more morally in touch and sound individual. Oddly enough, I don't even think iDubbbz deserves the amount of hate he gets for simply wanting to be a more, let's say, soft and grounded type of person. There are things that he definitely deserves to be shit on for, such as the failures of Creator Clash, his complete disrespect and disregard of his audience, and his inappropriate ban of Froggy Fresh from Creator Clash, but first and foremost, I think those are things that will teach him a lesson on just the failure alone. The criticism is only the cherry on top. At the end of the day, like many of us say, I don't think iDubbbz is the problem. No, I think Anissa is the problem, but not for the reasons a lot of people typically complain about. Personally, I don't think Anissa really did too much to change iDubbbz the way a lot of people theorize. I don't think she used her female powers to emasculate iDubbbz and turn him into a simp. I think that's actually a stupid theory, and honestly, it's retarded. Frankly, I think those claims are ridiculous and firmly believe iDubbbz would have become the person he is now regardless of whoever he dated or whether or not he ever got in a relationship. As a matter of fact, I find it sort of gross that people would chalk up Anissa to being iDubbbz's controller or tard wrangler or anything when Anissa herself, in my honest opinion, is nowhere near the intelligence that iDubbbz holds. While some people may say iDubbbz isn't that smart, I disagree. I just think his failures now can be chalked up to him trying to be a virtuous goody two-shoes. You know what some of those cringe super duper ultra conservative YouTube weirdos like the quartering say, go woke, go broke. It's true, although it doesn't particularly help that iDubbbz himself is cringily left-leaning, but I don't really see that as a problem. I think the problem at hand, and this is entirely my speculation, is that Anissa is not really this super politically correct, tame individual she pretends to be. I think Anissa is genuinely and possibly significantly more unhinged now than iDubbbz ever was. And honestly, it could be that Anissa was always the unhinged one in the relationship. I think iDubbbz has actually always been grounded and was the one who influenced Anissa himself the more I think about it instead of the other way around. And I say that for good reason. Recently, these clips started circulating of her complaining about commentary channels never being capable of understanding what it's like to run an organization after the failure of Creator Clash 2 or an event because of their inability to hold a job. But ironically in all of this, the way she presents her self-importance is drastically out of touch with reality, claiming that she is way more experienced and on top of that, significantly more hated than Anissa was during his expose. All of this because she can't seem to let go of Creator Clash's failure. The entire meltdown is honestly embarrassing to anyone who in fact is relatively experienced in anything at all. I mean, let's just take a look because honestly there's some things she said that I genuinely believe need a reality check, and I can't help but to throw in my 2 cents.
This in the Patreon podcast. This person's lawyer, the shakedown lawyer, used a commentary video, okay, that insinuated, I have to be very careful with my words here because this person will say technically they didn't say that, insinuated that we pocketed money. Insinuated that we didn't actually lose money, okay? Insinuated that it only costs $100,000 to run an event like this, which is not true, okay? This is in the millions. This event costs in the millions to run. I'm not kidding. It's fucked up, okay? And that all is our responsibility. We took that on because we wanted to do something fun and cool and good for charity and whatever. It is a very expensive event to run. There's a lot that goes on, okay? It's a huge thing. It's a 20,000 seat arena. Anyways, the lawyer used the YouTube video to say that this was proof that we were pocketing money. So the point that I was making with that clip that got taken out of context again, or like he just didn't understand what I was saying, is that we were in a shakedown lawsuit, and part of the reason why they thought that they could bark up our tree was because commentary YouTubers have no idea what it is to work a normal job, let alone put on a whole event, okay? You have no clue. You don't even know what it's like to clock in and have someone breathe down your neck.
This is a quick revision in regards to my initial recording, but I have to say that Anissa, whatever her name is, she does have a point. This lawyer and these commentators can't really accurately measure how much she spent in regards to this whole organization of an event. To insinuate or implicate that these individuals, Anissa and iDubbbz, actually did pocket money is incredibly irresponsible and misrepresentative. But regardless of that, I still do want to criticize her kind of meltdown and other clips that I'll be including along the way. So one of the first things Anissa mentions here is that commentary YouTubers have no idea how it's like to organize an event, let alone have a normal job. Well, I want to say that first and foremost, you don't either. It's very clear that by your previous experiences, by your previous attempts, you yourself don't actually know how to run an event either. You spent all of this money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think it was over $300,000 if I recall correctly. You spent $300,000. Let's just say that you spent $300,000. And by the end of this event, you spent it in stupid bullshit that doesn't even matter over petty grudges. You completely cut one of your fighters that many people were interested in seeing. You absolutely kill your reputation and piss a lot of your fans off, including other people that were interested in watching this, only because you were offended. And people didn't even actually respect what you did, so they didn't even bother to watch. A lot of people actually ended up pirating the event because of this whole decision that you made. Again, over a joke. And at the end of this all, you ended up losing $250,000. Now, let's go back to not knowing how to run an organization properly. If you actually knew how to run that organization properly, you wouldn't have let your petty differences cut somebody away and then have so many people clown on you to the extent where people weren't even interested in actually watching your garbage. And just for the cherry on top to make this worse, people were criticizing you justly, saying that this was a terrible move, that it would take a lot of attention away or even make people boycott your event based on the decision that you made. People were giving you this constructive criticism plenty of times over and over again. And despite that, you didn't even bother to listen to the arguments that people were making. You didn't bother to listen to what people were advising you to do.
To address everyone asking about Sam Hyde, he's a difficult guy.
It's our first event. Like, we need the most predictable people.
Okay, maybe he can be on Career Clash 2, but the first one has to go smoothly.
No.
It's hard to get people that are beyond our scope of like what we know are going to be able to follow contracts and hit weights.
Exactly.
Do
It's just a massive business risk.
For my event, I've been working way too hard on this to get someone like Sam Hyde on the card.
If anything, you virtue signaled and pretended that you were better than everybody else, which only made people dislike you more. So, again, if you really knew how to run an event, you wouldn't turn all of these people against you, the only people willing to support your event, and then double down on it.
You fuckers that are looking at this right now, I know that you would fucking cry if I said something to you in real life. I know you would cry. How do I know? Because I've done it to one of you fuckers in real life, and you have cried. You cried and apologized to me, and you even said that I made you feel like a bitch. And I'm glad that I did, to be honest. More people should do that to you.
This part right here is honestly hilarious because she has no self-awareness. You're trying to come across as this super intimidating, powerful individual who can make somebody cry. Look, nobody can really take you seriously. If you were to meet these people in real life, the first thing they're going to think is things that I'd rather not mention, but they're going to immediately think less of you. You can't make anybody cry with your reputation. It's just not possible. Apparently, what she was referencing with this entire situation right here is that she had confronted Rusty Cage in regards to Rusty Cage making like an offhanded joke in regards to her her personal endeavors, and he apparently apologized to her, but I don't really think he cried. I just think she's misconstruing the situation, because I don't think there's anyone you would have met in person that you could have actually intimidated to that extent, especially not in the commentary community. Like, these people don't respect you. Why would they ever be afraid of you? And I actually got that bit of knowledge from exate over here, by the way. I looked at his video first before going into my own take. I had other things that I wanted to say, but thanks for the information. Yeah, this entire bit right here is her just trying to make herself seem larger than she is, which she's not, and it's honestly kind of embarrassing. Like, I feel secondhand embarrassment from this. If anything, it reminds me of those cringy internet role players I'm pretty sure a couple of you guys have met, where they try to seem a lot more intimidating than they are, right? Some of you will get what I mean, but anyways.
Ian keeps me, this is the truth, okay? Ian keeps me on a leash, okay? And I'm okay with that, because I need to be on a leash. I need to be on a leash, a tight leash, to be honest, because I am unhinged. I feel like more people hate me than Onision. And maybe it's because I'm in it, like I'm seeing it, but that's what it feels like. It feels like I quit college to become the most hated person on YouTube.
Ian keeps me on a leash, a tight leash, because I am unhinged.
Okay, so if you're saying that you are unhinged and you need to be kept in control and checked by somebody else, then you can't make the claim that people don't know how to run an event better than you if you're clearly incapable of being sound-minded enough to run an event yourself. Here she says that she feels like more people hate her than Anissa, and then she says it's because she's in it. Okay, well, yes, that assessment is correct. I can guarantee you that not more people hate you than Anissa, right? That's just you trying to have this sense of self-importance. I promise you, you're not that relevant and you're not that important to a lot of these people. If you were to just stay silent and try to conduct yourself in a more orderly fashion and try to execute things in a more thought-out way, people wouldn't be coming at you in such rambunctious ways, right? Especially not a lot of these commentators that you claim hate you. You only see it that way because you put your nose directly in it and make yourself feel like the victim of this mass hate campaign, when that clearly isn't really the case. Just try to be a better person and people won't criticize you as much. That's all it takes.
Assumptions. Like, just so out of pocket. I don't know. I know a lot of them have never worked a real job. I know that for a fact. And if you have, you worked there for a week and you cried and you quit. That's the other thing that a lot of these people assume, is that I never worked a real job. But I didn't get on the internet until I was 21. I had to pay for my own I was in college working like a fucking serving job. Okay? I was doing both. I had 4 to 5 classes a semester, and then I would go work a serving job. Okay? And before that, I worked at a pet store and a Dairy Queen. Because I function in society. And then I got lucky, right? I got lucky and I started making money on the internet, so I quit. But I had been working since I was like 12, I'm not even kidding, 12 years old. Because in Canada at the time, I don't know if now, but at the time, if your parents sign you can sign something, you can work. I worked at a movie theater when I was a kid.
Something that sends me up the wall is that there's this other clip that somebody got where she is saying, oh, I used to work at Dairy Queen. I got rich off the internet, so now I wanted to do these things with my money that other people don't do. Okay, look, if you're trying to come sideways against these people who are neats, who are strangers, who are weirdos, who are LCPs and that are unemployed and have never worked an actual job, maybe you should have a little bit more credibility than saying that you used to work at Dairy Queen. Working at Dairy Queen isn't impressive by any means at all. I don't even understand why she used that as an example or as a point of reference. Anissa is 8 years older than me. I'm 22, and I'm pretty sure that Anissa was working at Dairy Queen when she was about the same age as me, if not a little bit older. The reason I'm saying all of this is because I know people in my age range, in their 20s, same as me, who have had significantly stronger roles and positions and some pretty notable companies and corporate jobs. Basically, what I'm saying, Anissa, is that if you're going to use the fact that you worked in Dairy Queen as you having a little bit more life experience than these individuals as a point of contention, then you should probably be aware that there's people out here who actually have careers despite being commentators. So this entire meltdown that you went over trying to portray these individuals as lesser than you only makes you look bad, because because not only does somebody not really like somebody who's cocky or egotistical, I promise you I understand that very well, not only do people not like these cocky individuals, but you do a perfect job at becoming an incredibly unlikable cocky individual almost every single time that you try to lash out against anybody. This leads me to believe that Anissa probably has never actually been a very mature individual. If anybody knows a lot about her history, she really got popular on Twitch for being none other than a notorious, chest streamer. I'm not going to comment too much about that because I'm not trying to disrespect her either. I'm trying to give fair criticism. So she got really popular milking the Twitch algorithm, let's just say that. And off this popularity, she got this super inflated ego, and it's very obvious that she was always immature, especially when you start digging into a little bit in regards to her history. She used to love edgy individuals like Leafy. She used to say edgy shit. So if anything, again, like I stated in the beginning of my video, I feel like Anissa was actually always the immature one, and iDubbbz over time became more mature and probably fell in love with this person. There's nothing wrong with that, and wanted to change that. And what leads me to believe this more is that she herself said that iDubbbz keeps her on a leash. And not just that, but there's so many times when Anissa just says some of the most backwards, most out of pocket shit ever.
I wanted to quit OF so early on, and Ian was like, no, you promised 2 years at least. I'm gonna make you stick to it. And I did, and I mean, I still do it, so... Can I say that?
As if she doesn't or can't understand the repercussions of what she's saying. There's so many times when Anissa has embarrassed iDubbbz, and you can just see the pain in iDubbbz's eyes as to why would you say something like that at this moment? And my theory is that Anissa, it just doesn't actually know how to fucking behave, and iDubbbz is the main one trying to show her how to behave. And to me, that's pretty evident. So my conclusion with all of this is that Anissa isn't the fucking mastermind behind iDubbbz becoming a soy boy, as most people like to say. I feel like iDubbbz was always going to become like that regardless because of his sense of morality, if you could paint it in that way. If anything, iDubbbz was probably the one who imposed his views and his new intentions and ideas onto Anissa, and they developed in that way. I hate to make these type of conjectures, but at the end of the day, right, I really just wanted to make a video on Anissa because this type of behavior is kind of backwards and disgusting to see continuously from somebody who, in my opinion, could become a little bit more respected in this community or in the overall YouTube community. They have a lot of things that they're planning. They're planning Creator Clash 3. The last thing they need is to get their heads a little bit over the fucking clouds and then start doing the same fucking mistakes that they made last time because they just can't understand humility, because they just can't understand criticism. I genuinely want to see iDubbbz succeed in his next endeavors, but I also want to see Anissa succeed alongside him so that there's less bullshit going on so that they can actually make these plans that are fruitful and work. But the thing with Anissa is that she genuinely, as I've mentioned and as I've covered, can't help herself from saying stupid and embarrassing shit. For example, look at this clip after all of this drama went down.
You know, it's interesting because when I did the rant that got clipped and shared by a bunch of people, I did that intentionally to be ranty and interesting and eye-catching, and I did it with the intention of getting it shared. And it's interesting how how predictable that is, I guess. And it's cool. It makes you feel okay, this is more predictable than you would imagine that it is.
I mean, of course people are gonna make fun of you when you come across as some spurg. Literally, other YouTubers have made follow-up videos to their videos on this clip alone and nothing else. Because you come across as one of those incredibly shallow and annoying, you fell right into my trap card wannabe anime characters. But in her defense, what she's saying here may not entirely be that cringy, because she actually did say in her initial clips that she wanted people to react to her character that she was playing. But the thing is, there is a lot of genuine anger and ego coming, just oozing from Anissa when she was going off on that rant. I'll go ahead and show you the clip for reference, just so you can see that I'm not trying to defend her for no reason.
So don't tell me how much it costs. $100,000 does not even cost 1/4 of the broadcasting fees. So I don't know what crack these commentary YouTubers are on, but I want some. No, I know. This is going on. I love how I didn't wear makeup today. I look disgusting as shit. But this will go on every and I don't care. I'm at the point. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Because even when we don't say something, they think we're saying something. Do you know what I mean? Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you.
It's also incredibly hard to want to be on Ian's or Anissa's side when they're constantly trying to antagonize anybody and everybody who's trying to give them fair criticism, because their actions and the way that they behave is incredibly embarrassing to not just themselves, but it gives secondhand embarrassment to anybody who wants to support them and want to see them succeed. For example, me, I want to see Ian succeed. This guy has been on YouTube for a long time. He is definitely one of the OGs and is somebody who's honestly taught a lot of people very important lessons in regards to not just content creation, but he has also shown people, entire audiences such as his Content Cop series, that it's important to view other creators in a more analytical and critical way, and to make sure that people are being held up to certain standards. I really wish the best for iDubbbz and Anissa, because despite being some very egotistical and condescending ass individuals, they are truly trying to do some things on this platform, on the internet, that doesn't just encompass themselves, but rather what they're doing in some of their projects helps a lot of people. For example, iDubbbz Save the Squirrels campaign is something that I have a lot of respect for, because it shows a significant care for animals, something that I really align myself with. Not just that, but Creator Clash is still something that they're actively working on. iDubbbz plans on making a Creator Clash 3 that not would only be significantly good for the YouTube landscape and bring a lot of creators together, but it would also be incredibly good for whatever charity they decide to donate to, assuming that it goes well this time. But despite all the good that they can be doing, it's incredibly hard to take them seriously when they're always acting in such a condescending manner. I mean, just look at this clip, for example.
People are already.
That's great.
I've had 3 streams and I've already pissed off.
Nice.
I don't know. I really went off 2 streams ago.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's good. I think the going off is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Who are you gonna piss off other than like a bunch of incels? Like. Yeah. And people who are just already mad at you.
I know, yeah, that's kind of. I was like,
whatever. What are there new people lining up? You know, it's like Pokemon waiting in the wings. Like,
so how can you expect anybody to support your endeavors and projects if you're willingly making everybody turn against you? You say that only some people are going to dislike you, that only some people, the same haters, are going to keep hating on you. But sometimes there are some people out there that make extremely good, compelling points that turn others against you as well. We saw that with Creator Clash 2 when people came out against you because you decided to kick somebody out over their allegiance with Sam Hyde, which is honestly very idiotic. Anyways, all of that being said, I made this video with a little bit less of a script, with a little bit less notes, because I wanted to kind of give my unfiltered opinion on topics like these so that I can produce more content, because working on a lot of these videos, a lot of notations go into it, a lot of gathering information goes into it so that I can formulate better ideas, and it takes a significantly long amount of time to create a lot of these videos. So what I'm saying is that I'm going to try to make some slop, but I'm also going to focus a lot on some projects and a lot on making some very high quality commentary essay-esque videos as well, with a lot of critical analysis into them. So don't be surprised if some of these videos are more high quality than others. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try to do my best to always give some very strong arguments in all of my videos regardless. If this video is received well, then I'll do more. If this video is not received well, then I'm just going to stick to the formula of pretty much writing out all my thoughts ahead of time, and also trying to make sure that every single sentence that I say is actually well formulated and well thought out. That being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I love all of my supporters and everybody who decided to subscribe because of my other bigger videos. You guys are all appreciated. Thanks for watching. Later.